Pisces. Welcome to the pink full moon in Scorpio for April 23rd, 2024. Pink because of the pink flowers that are usually blooming around this time. Unfortunately, the moon won't be pink. And a full moon closes out cycles. So we are closing out major cycles as we're beginning new ones with that Uranus conjunction that happened on the 21st. So interesting time. Big major changes. And the direction your reading is going in is number one, spirit, the vast universe. For me, this means that opportunity awaits. And it's kind of like not only is the world your oyster, but as is the universe. Meaning you have a lot of energy available to you now to create this new cycle that's coming up. And it can seem big, like what do I choose? And so it's a good idea during these 2 weeks to kind of consider that. Even though we're closing out cycles, this is telling you to focus on your intention, but more than that, because it's spirit, right? I feel like there's a connection, like we're connected to something. And so maybe it's more about gathering information and getting a handle on our blueprint. Okay? Like, what do I want my next 14 years to look like? Because it is so vast, it is so big. We have so much to choose from that it's kind of getting down to the blueprint, to the focus, like narrowing it down a little bit, okay? That may be where this reading is taking us. So, and Pisces is about, it's a very expansive energy. And so things can be quite big. We always want to expand. And I think that's the difficulty is then, well then what do I choose? What do I focus on? What do I hone in on? Because there's so much potential. So it's kind of like pinpointing. And maybe it's the idea of listening to spirit where that's concerned. Our spirit, right? Yeah, we need some critical thinking here. Okay. The first column is where you find yourself at the time of the full moon, or what it is you're consciously closing out at this time. The second column is how you're behaving, what you're thinking, what you're doing. And the last column is probable outcomes. Some things we can change, some things we are meant to experience, but always for our own growth, always for our own benefit. All right, so you have the Nine of Swords and the Strength card. You've certainly been under the star. The stars have been... the stars and the planets, right? The celestial bodies have really been influencing your situation. And it may have been quite difficult, especially Saturn. And the Nine of Swords is saying that this is very possible that we let a thought get away from us, that we believe a thought that may or may not be true and it takes on a life of its own. And so this card says, stop overthinking and go out and do something physical. Okay, so that's the advice for the Nine of Swords. And And the ego could be at the helm here with the Strength card. It is my Leo card, and Leo is the ego. And it's not about getting rid of it, but about balancing it. And so we need to find balance within our egoic energy. I will do this, I will do that, I will, right? Um, it is your solar plexus, so it is your willpower, but it is also courage, and the courage to take a step, or maybe in this case, pare down your options and make a choice. Let's see. Well, yeah, it is kind of about clearing the questions in your mind. Or you may be dealing with a Taurus type person, somebody young around you. It does feel like there's some courage necessary here, um, to stop overthinking, to stop worrying about situations, and to figure things out. The Page of Swords is somebody who's doing detective work, and like I said, it's about going and finding out those answers to the questions in your mind, right? Having the courage to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick to it. Let me figure out how to go about doing it, right? Not being wishy-washy, not letting it go if it doesn't work after a while, that kind of energy. You have the Death card, so there is transformation here, and it feels like it's a transformation in the way of thinking. We're graduating from the Page of Swords to the Queen of Swords. And so the Queen has critical thinking. She cuts out what is unnecessary, or it's a very critical way of thinking. Also, somebody who is very good and picks up information very easily. They like have a sharp mind. That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to say here. I do want to pull another card for this. More air. So we are being very mental at this time. Two of Swords. And again, this is for me like a scissor, right? It cuts out things that are unnecessary, people or situations that are unnecessary, which may be very difficult to do, and we need to figure that out and have the courage to do that, because this is the moon in Libra, and we can see both sides of a situation, but a decision needs to be made, and it needs to be made without neglecting the heart, because remember, the Queen of Swords and all these swords are very mental, and so maybe we're not listening to the heart, but that's what's going to change, right? There's some change there. The Eight of Pentacles is work, and so it's removing all distraction and getting work done. It is a good work ethic. It is honing your craft and getting a lot of things done, and that makes you a leader with the King of Wands. It makes you a trailblazer. There can also be, for somebody, possibility of romance, but also choices, and choices in the trails that we blaze, choices in the work that we do. And that's what I mean by narrowing down our choices. It's a vast universe. Everything's opened up to us, but so we have to cut away the things, because we can't do everything, right? We can't do everything now. So we have to make a choice. We have to pare those choices down and really kind of hone in on what it is that we want to do, or how we want to see this new 14-year cycle come together. So we have some decisions to make, and we have a lot of thinking to do, but we don't want to overthink things. And in fact, those choices and decisions that we make probably come to us easier when we're doing something physical, right? Something mundane, gardening, the dishes, vacuuming, or being creative. Sole purpose. act on your soul purpose today. So it's pretty big. It is pretty vast, and I understand the need to narrow down because we're going to be doing something that we came here to do, our soul's purpose, and the transformation is part of it. And that might be part of the soul purpose, to transform what was into something else. Wow, that's pretty big. The King of Wands is a leader. And like I said, they're trailblazers. They don't usually take the, the most, they don't take the path. I'll put it this way, they take the path less traveled. They go in first. Interesting. Very interesting. But even if you don't do that, it is a path, especially for you. It's your soul's purpose. But there does seem to be leadership qualities here. We just have to choose it. You have to choose it. And there may be somebody along this path, this King of Wands, who helps us or brings us more choice. I do want to see what the Lovers is, what kind of choice that is, or what is the choice, because we do have choice here with that Two of Swords, so it's here a few times. Do or die, right? The Eight of Swords. It's a shift in our ineffectual actions, things that seem to be ineffectual. There is a choice there. So if something isn't working out, you may let it go and begin something new that might work out better for you. Again, blazing new trails, doing something different, something you haven't done before. Okay? All right. Interesting reading. I hope it's been helpful. I will return in 2 weeks with a new moon reading. I appreciate you listening. Bye for now.